Lucky Boys Podcast.
He told me a little bit of like the gangs in Chinatown, because I actually find that part quite fascinating. Because if you know a little bit of history in Manhattan's Chinatown, the bloody angle, right, where Namwa is, right, there used to be two like prominent gangs that are like fighting against each other. So I asked him this question. I was like, what about now? Like, what about recently? And he showed me some like hidden spots of like, oh, this was like the more like recent gangs, right? Well, clearly it's not happening anymore. Or at least that's what I'm assuming.
Not at that level.
Yeah, not at that level, but like...
Because it was just so in your face back then. You're like, I have like
Apparently,
30,
yeah.
40, 50 kids right now. Well, when I walk by with my mom, I'll see like a bunch of like kids at the corner of a park, and you kind of get the hint of what it was about. So,
yeah, but then like so I was walking with him and he moved the trash can. He was like, this was where the street that they dominated, it has the initial of the gang name. I was like, what? Like on the bottom of a trash can?
Wait, bottom of the trash can? Like,
Yeah.
like somebody marked it up
Yeah.
or scratched it?
I never heard of
Yeah.
that.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
No,
to get
but
out.
it's on the
So,
ground and it's
that's
still
weird.
there.
Where?
Is it covert? Or you have to actually
Or
look for it?
was this-
Well, okay, there were two, right? One
Yeah.
is on Doria Street. You just have to go
Okay.
look. And then the other one is on, I think it was on Elizabeth. On Elizabeth Street. But you have to move the trash can. So go figure it out.
It's right underneath the trash can. That's so,
Yeah.
So it's on the sidewalk. Like,
Yeah, it's on the sidewalk,
okay.
right? At first, I was like, "What are you doing?"
like the Da Vinci Code, like you gotta go here,
That's
get another
cool.
clue. It's pointing to the Confucius statue. Like you gotta
Exactly.
go there. Like, you know,
They
like,
should make a movie out of that too, like Da Vinci Code in Chinatown.
Asian Da Vinci Code.
Because there's so many like monuments around, you know.
So what did that signify? Like,
Well, it was
just
like
where
that
they
was
hung
the,
out?
yeah, that was their territory, right? And then like then I went back and I did my research, and I was like, okay, then like what specifically about that gang? Why were they there? And then actually related to like, you know how in Manhattan, Chinatown, there's a lot of like fake luxury bags.
Yes.
So it's that gang initially dominated that area. So and
Canal Street?
Canal Street, yes, and they got really big, and they're actually not Chinese gangs.
It's a Vietnamese guy.
It's Vietnamese.
BTK.
Yes, BTK. So go
This is
find
back,
the
this
BTK.
is back in the 1980s, 1990s?
Yeah, it was like the early like 1980s, 1990s before like the head of the gang he got arrested, and then
Was it David Chang or something like that?
I
was his
don't
name?
remember his name, but I remember it was in Vietnam.
So I hear.
English.
So since we're doing some Chinatown
Obviously,
history.
have to fact check all of this. Okay.
So, all right, go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so eventually he got caught, but he was causing a lot of disruption with the Chinese tongs or the Chinese gangs that were around the area back then.
David Tai, sorry, David Tai.
Yes, maybe.
That's his name.
But I don't exactly remember how he got caught, but he was trying to like make connections with the Italian mafia and then create like a bigger gang. But obviously he got caught. But then all the luxury, like the fake luxury bags that business is still going on.
So BTK started that business
Yes.
so that's they made Canal Street. I
They
guess
made Canal
notoriously
Street,
known
yeah.
for that.
Yes,
That's fascinating.
fact checked.
So here's where I heard that they were having. You said they had some conflict with the
Chinese tongs.
the
yes.
Chinese tongs. I think initially, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Benny Ong, when he was the godfather of Chinatown, I believe he hired them as a muscle to handle people that needed to be handled, the Vietnamese gangs, right? And at a certain point, they just had a disagreement, and where he didn't show up to the meeting at all,
Yes.
and where David and his group didn't show up to the meeting, and I think or do I have that reversed?
So yes, David, or the head of the Vietnamese gang, he didn't show up to the meeting, and I
Right.
don't exactly know why he didn't show up to the meeting. But it was like a very important meeting to like mend the relationships between the Chinese gangs and the Vietnamese gangs.
Because
But
there was some conflict, right?
yeah,
Right. And so I guess that was a sign for all-out war.
yes, but I don't think it went that far because obviously he got caught, and then like that was the end of it. But all that business is still going.
So flourishing. Yeah, I guess
He's
he found a
still
niche in the
alive.
market.
Yeah.
He's in jail though, right?
He is in jail, but he's still alive. But it's kind of crazy to think about it now because then, like, I mean, it kind of happened, you know, during kind of recent, I would say, in the last 30 years.
Wow. Yeah, I heard
30, 40 years.
I heard that they were pretty ruthless.
Yeah, it's because they are called born to kill because of like what happened in the Vietnam War, right? They witnessed a lot of like, you know, killing and murders.
Didn't they wear that in their helmets?
Yes. It was in I think it was the American soldiers.
The American soldiers wore that.
Yeah, they wore it. It was like born to kill. So they took that and, you know, they're very ruthless apparently. Whoever they see around their territory, they shoot or kill.
Asian gangs in general back then were quite ruthless. There was something to definitely be concerned with. Well, any gang for that matter, if, you know, people are willing to solve problems through violence.
Lucky Boys Podcast.